All right. Um, Hello, everyone. Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining my presentation today. Today we are talking about Xamarin.Essentials, which is one topic from mobile applications. The title is Developing Powerful Mobile Apps with Xamarin.Essentials. My name is Luis Beltran. I am a Microsoft MVP in Developer Technologies from Mexico. And I'm quite happy to be here. Thanks to MSP Tech Days for the invitation. And I hope that this presentation is useful for you. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them. I will often check the chat. And well, you can also tell me in the chat where are you from, and yeah, if you know about Xamarin, if you are beginner or expert, yeah, just tell me about you. Before starting with the presentation, I would like to thank especially to the Microsoft UTN student community, because I am right now in Ecuador. They invited me and other experts to talk about several technologies. So thank you to the most. Thank you, Ecuador, for these great days. You can visit their Facebook page in the link. And well, they are quite great guys. They organize a lot of events. They are quite successful in their participation, and yeah, they also do great things for the community here in Ibarra, Ecuador, and also in the country. And they are also international students. So, well, a bit about me. I am currently doing research, and I am PhD student at Tomas Batia University in Zlín, in Czech Republic. I am also working with the Tecnológico Nacional de Celaya in Mexico. And yeah, one of my special topics is artificial intelligence, also mobile applications, and cloud computing. I am particularly happy to talk about these topics. There you can see my Twitter handle in case you want to follow me, Dark Dream. My email, luis@luisbeltran.mx, and my blog, luisbeltran.mx. So let's get started with the topic. And I would like to ask you a few questions about mobile applications, especially with Xamarin. How often do you require access to native APIs? Maybe you have developed an application and you want to implement text-to-speech. And normally you will write code for Android, or iOS, or maybe for Windows 10, a specific platform-specific code, because before this topic, there was no C# shared code to implement text-to-speech or other functionalities. Then developers started to create NuGet packages. So to handle this functionality, text-to-speech or geolocation, you want to know the location of the user, latitude, longitude, and so on. What else? Maybe some codes to send SMS or email. So we have to add NuGet packages. And if we include this in our application, we might find that maybe we have 10, 15 NuGet packages, and it's sometimes hard to manage all of them. So yeah, it is quite common that we increase the number of plugins, especially with popular plugins. And also, sometimes we have to implement interfaces to access these native APIs, especially if we are working with Dependency Service. So yeah, sometimes we want to, this is one example, we want to store values in our device. So we normally use one NuGet package, and we can use the preferences shared code. But if we see, or if we take a look at the platform-specific code, we will find that, for instance, in the Android code, we are actually using shared preferences. If we go to Windows 10 or UWP, we are actually using application data class. And for iOS, we use NSUser defaults. So as you can see, for each platform, we have a specific classes, specific functions, native ones, but we can simplify them in the shared code with the preferences NuGet package. But as I said, we have to include this package. And then, well, we have other way to handle this platform-specific code by using dependency service. In dependency service, you declare an interface. Let's say I text to speech, and you add a method or some functions such as speak, and there is a parameter, the text message and string, and we have to implement specific code for Android, specific functions for Windows 10, specific code for iOS or Apple devices. And then when the application is running, thanks to the dependency service, we will use the class with which actually call this interface. Like if we are running the application from a PC device, Windows 10 device, of course we will use the specific code for that platform. The code, we will not take a look at the Android or Apple, sorry, iOS implementation, because they are actually not called. All right. So in summary, these are the problems that developers face, particularly with popular packages. We have to learn about multiple APIs, platform-specific code, or also shared code. There might be overhead in interfaces and plugins. If we are developing an application, we might find that we have like 20 interfaces, 20 plugins, and of course, it is hard to handle the maintenance, okay? So yeah, or it's quite easy that the application escalates, again, very quickly. So, yeah, it is great that developers have 100% API access in C# with Xamarin, but these APIs are different per platform. Developers have to learn 3 different APIs to access these platform-specific features. Of course, C# is a great language, Xamarin is a great technology, but sometimes we want to optimize our code. We want to write less code to be more productive and to offer unique functionality to our users. And then we have Xamarin.Essentials, and it comes to the rescue to solve these kind of issues that we just mentioned. What is Xamarin.Essentials? Well, it is a kit of core cross-platform APIs for mobile applications. It is focusing on Android, iOS, Xamarin Forms, and also Windows 10 in some cases. With Xamarin.Essentials, developers have a single cross-platform API which works with any application, any operating system application, and it can be accessed from shared code. It is worth mentioning that this kit was developed by James Montemagno, but there is also several developers which work together with him in order to have more than 20 APIs included in this kit. it is also important to mention that Xamarin.Essentials is an open source project. You know, Microsoft currently is supporting a lot of open source implementations of their products or projects. In this case, well, you have the link right there. It is available as a NuGet package. Well, that's kind of obvious in the Xamarin world, Xamarin.Essentials. And the documentation is available on Microsoft Docs. You can see the link right there. And one update. Starting from Visual Studio 2019, when you create a mobile application project with Xamarin, Xamarin.Essentials is already included in the code. This NuGet package is already there. So you don't have to add anything. You can start right there with the implementation. And of course, we will talk a bit about how to implement them. But before moving to the next slide, I will take a look at the chat. And if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to type in the chat and I will answer them. So just give me a minute and I will take a look at the chat, okay? So just give me a second. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you here. Good night, everyone. Do you have any questions about what I just taught? Right here, I have a good friend with me. It's Humberto. You can say hi to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
You might know Humberto Jaimes, which is also Mexican MVP in developer technologies. He's also an expert in Xamarin. And how are you spending your time here in Ecuador, Humberto?
I have a really good time talking about Xamarin and Azure.
Yeah, we were invited by the university here, and yeah, we are particularly happy to be here. Okay. So yeah, Brian says hi.
Hi, Ryan. How are you doing?
Right. So I will continue with the presentation. If you have any questions, just write them there. So let's continue. Okay, so Xamarin.Essentials is quite powerful API for our mobile applications. There are many APIs included in this package, such as accelerometer for the position or if you are shaking, let's say, your device, if you want to implement this functionality, shaking. By the way, did you know that if you have the Facebook application open and you shake the device, you will activate the the report to Facebook some problem? I didn't know it, but I just read about it. So yeah, you can actually test it. And yeah, the accelerometer can be used there. There is also the battery API. So in case you want to, for instance, you are saving or sending information to a server, or you are retrieving information from the server, but you know that there is a lot of data incoming, and you are detecting that the device has low battery level, you can ask the user, okay, plug in your device to the power source, because otherwise you will have problems when downloading the data. So yeah, that's one functionality that you can implement by checking the battery level. The clipboard is also useful. Maybe you want to provide the user some functionality to copy some data and send it to the clipboard directly, right? What else? Connectivity is another popular plugin. This one allows you to detect if the application or the device is connected to a network to sell data, or there is no connection. Actually, the connectivity one is included in the demo that I will share with you in a few minutes. You can also send email, messages, SMS. You can share to other applications, Facebook, Twitter, by using the native functionality from the device. And well, as you can see in the list, there are quite a lot of plugins included in the main one. All right. Okay, so just give me, sorry about this window. Okay, going a bit technical. There are some supported platforms with Xamarin.Essentials. First of all, your device, if the API is 19 or the Android operating system version is 4.4 or higher, you are good to go. Or if you have an iPad or iPhone and your device has version 10 or higher, you are okay. And for Windows 10 is the Fall Creators Update, or this version 10.0.16 to 99 or higher. Okay. So these are the requirements for your device in order to so they can use Xamarin.Essentials. When you add the NuGet package or when you start a new Xamarin application in Visual Studio 2019, you have to do a small setup in Android. In Android, you have to do two things. First, in the main launcher or any activity that is launched, you have to call the init method after the base.onCreate. So yeah, you just add the Xamarin.Essentials platform init, and then the second parameter is the bundle. Yep, that's the first step. Second step is to call the onRequest permission result. You just add this code, you override it to ask the user for these permissions. And yeah, it is again included in all your activity classes. Main activity, for instance. One good thing about the iOS part is that you don't have to write or do any additional setup. And same case for Windows 10 applications. So yeah, they are the easier ones. Okay, now going with code, how to implement them. First of all, well, you just have to add the Xamarin.Essentials namespace. That's the first step, very easy. And second step is to include the specific functionality of the API that you want to implement. This functionality, of course, goes in the shared project if you are working with Xamarin Forms, or if you are using native Android or native iOS, well, you just add this code. You can obtain this code by checking the documentation. It is quite powerful because you just click, okay, I want to send an SMS. What is the code that I have to write to send it? Or I want to send an email, okay? Then this is the code that you have to write. There are some other APIs, such as Battery, that you need to add some permissions in the Android manifest. Then you write the code. But as I said, the documentation is the first place to go because you have everything there. Preferences is another API which is included in Xamarin.Essentials, and there are several functionality that you can add. Okay, preferences means the functionality for storing simple values in your application, such as a string, a number, or date, or some basic object. It is mainly used for settings or for configuration of your application. Like, for instance, if you are developing an application for radio or which works with videos, you can save the volume level that the user wants for the application, or the language, yep, of your application. Yeah, you can store that in. There is no need for using a database, because you just want to to store two simple values. So you can use preferences, which is quite quick and easy. So you can set the value by using preferences.set and then a key and then the value. Okay, the key, this works as a dictionary. If you have worked with C#, you know what a dictionary is. It's a key value pair. So the key is what you will use to access in later requests, and of course the value. You can read or return this value by using preferences.get. Okay, it's quite straightforward. You use the same key, and this default value is in case that the preference does not exist. All right. You can remove it. Very simple. Remove my key, and you can clear all the preferences with that method, preferences.clear. So yeah, it's quite easy to implement it. And some other notes. Xamarin.Essentials supports a minimum Android version of 4.4. The API level is 19, but the target Android version for compiling the project must be 9.0, which corresponds to the API level 28. This is for Android. And also for Android, maybe you know that sometimes there are some problems or some issues with the Xamarin Android support libraries. So yeah, you have to, all these support libraries must be version 28 or higher. Yep. Because, well, this is a requirement for Xamarin.Essentials. And yeah, if you have some library from version 27, 26, you have to update it. All right. A good tip or advice is that all of them have to be should be the same version. If you have one library, let's say Xamarin Android Recycler View version 28, and there is another one in 29 or 27, you might encounter some problems. So the best thing to do is to standardize all of them to the same version. Maybe you have a question. Okay, if Xamarin.Essentials contains all this functionality, does that mean that the APK size is incremented? Maybe I just want to implement the battery level API. Should I include all these Xamarin.Essentials package, but I just want this? Well, the good news is that since Xamarin.Essentials uses the linker safe attribute, this means that only the assemblies that are actually used in your application are included. So the output file is not output file size is not increased. All right, so that's something good to know, because, well, that was actually one of the questions that I had and many others when Xamarin.Essentials was introduced. So yeah, just in case. And of course, when I talk about implementation, for some APIs, you may need to add permissions in the platform-specific manifest. For instance, you have, for battery, you need to add battery info or battery status, sorry, functionality or permission in the manifest. Of course, the documentation is the place to go to check these requirements, all right? And then we go to the demo. So yeah, I will, before going to the demo, I would like to ask you if there are any questions. The demo is already shared on GitHub. Essentials MSP Tech Days. Also, this presentation is shared on a SlideShare. Well, I will share at the end of the presentation the link of my account, and then you can take a look at it if it is useful for you. So I will, okay, I have the code here, and let me plug in my device. I have a tablet, Android here, and I will show you first I will show you the application, and then we can take a look at the code. All right. So I implemented several of these APIs. Okay. So any questions? It seems that there are no questions. Okay. No worries. So I am using Visor to show the application. Sorry, to show my my Android tablet here. Just give me a second. All right, yeah. Also, I am using Shell to showcase this demo. So you can see here some menu. Actually, the application was built, I think, in less than 1 hour. It is quite easy to implement this hamburger menu and also this tabs functionality. Just a second. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, let's start. In this application, I included some of the Xamarin.Essentials functionality. I will start with messages. In messages, I have two functions. You can send an SMS or an email from the application. So I will write this. Okay, so hello, text. Welcome to MSP Tech Days. And I will send this message to some number. Okay. In this case, I will not be able to send the message because this is a tablet. Yeah. But yeah, I will. This will call or open the Hangouts application, and then I will receive a message. I think. Yeah. Hangouts is not able to send use an SMS. All right. So yeah, this is because of the device, but actually it sends me to download some application from Google Play. So yeah, that's just to let you know about it. Now I will try to send an email. Let's try again. Hello. Oops. This is just Visor being himself. Hi from MSP Tech Days. And I will send this message to this email. Okay. So when I click send, the Gmail or email application from the device will be launched. If you know about Android, it's like using an intent, all right? But you can see that the data, the information that I wrote in my application is actually sent here. You can see that the address for sending the message is there. This is the subject, and this is the message, what I want to send to this email address. Of course, I can edit it here. Yep. But I want to make something clear. This Xamarin.Essentials functionality is not sending the email directly. It is actually launching the email application that is installed in your device. That's why the SMS message, for instance, failed, because in the tablet there is no way to send a short message unless there is some telephony or some way to do it. All right. But you can see that the functionality is there. Just give me a second. Yeah. So let's go back to my application. Okay, now you can see the battery application. This is the current level. You can see actually here in this bar, it's 83. The state of the battery is discharging, and the power source is USB because I have it connected here. I cannot do anything else here. I mean, I cannot unplug it from my device, otherwise the visor will not show it. But this, I can show it in the code. I have it here, that there is actually a command which is listening for battery info change. So let's say that when the level changes, let's say that the power decreases, it will be updated here. Okay, maybe I can come back to this tab in a few minutes, and you will see that this level has decreased. We will wait for it. There is another functionality here, which is the maps. Actually, in maps, I am implementing two APIs from Xamarin.Essentials. The first one is the geolocation. This is my current location. It's from Ibarra city in Ecuador. And the second functionality is launching the map. If I click on this button, show map, the Google Maps application will be called, and I am sending these parameters, the latitude and longitude, and we will see displayed in the map. So let's just wait a few minutes. Yeah, and you can see here. Yeah, this is my current location. Okay, sorry, pin should appear. Okay, maybe it's okay. Yeah, it is here. Yeah. Of course, in this application, sorry, I can replace the geographical coordinates. Let's try another one. Maybe this one. This one. Okay, let's show map. And a new location will be displayed. So we just wait. Oh, actually, you can see that the power level has decreased. So we will take a look back to the battery page. Okay, so you can see that it is now loading these maps. There is a new location. It's in Georgia, I think. No, it's in India, actually. Yeah, it's in India, it says. So, yeah. So now this pin is in, in India. Yeah. So this is another API included. Sorry for that. Just give me a second because I lost the power here. I will just close it and open it again. Any questions so far? No questions. Sorry. And yeah, so let's go back to battery, and you see that it changed to 82%. I can actually, yeah. Let's try the next one, network. And we have connection, internet, and profile Wi-Fi. If I, let's say, turn off the Wi-Fi, we will wait a few seconds. And you can see that the connectivity the connectivity network has changed because I just turned off the Wi-Fi. Because, well, this API includes functionality for listening to changes in the network. I will show you the code. I can turn on the Wi-Fi again, and we just wait. Yeah, it is now connected. Yeah, and again, connection, internet, and profile is Wi-Fi. So this is good for those applications when we need to check the connection level or connection profile. All right. And the final one is the text-to-speech. I can write some text here, such as, hello, my name is Luis. I can increase, decrease the volume and the pitch. Okay, let's try this one. I will increase the volume here of this device, and I hope you can hear it. So let's speak.
Hello, my name is Luis.
Okay, I don't know if you hear it. I will try again.
Hello, my name is Luis.
Okay, so it worked. And the code is quite easy. I will show you in a few seconds. All right. So let's take a look at the code. First of all, I am using MVVM, which is a model, view model, and views pattern for this application. I am coding some models, let's say battery model, for instance, to use my own properties for level, state, source, and so on. So you can see here in the view model, yep, this is the constructor for this view model. We just instantiate a battery model here, and we have level, state, and source. Battery is the class from Xamarin.Essentials. You can see it there, Xamarin.Essentials battery, or I can just click it here, and you see that it comes from this API. So this is the charge level, the state, and the power source. So instead of using these properties from the Xamarin.Essentials, I am rolling my own. All right. And you saw it in the demo. I am including this command, battery info change. Event handler. The battery info change event handler executes this command, status change command, which only updates these properties. And okay, we have the model, we have the view model, and then we go to the view. In the view, which is this one, there is simple labels there. But you see that here I am showing the level, which is the percentage, the state here, discharging, for instance, and the power source, which can be USB, and well, I don't remember the other ones, but if you plug in into the power source, well, the state is different. But we can check the documentation for those ones. It is also worth mentioning that the level returns a value between 0 and 1. And, well, I am using a converter. You can actually see it here to show it as a percentage value. The converter is right here. Battery power source. No, it's not this one. It's this one, percentage converter. Okay. So percentage, this value, let's say 0.81 times 100, and then we return the percentage. All right. So with this very simple code, we have the battery implementation. There is extra code, of course, but this is due to the MVVM model. Like, I write some properties like level, state, which when they are which notifies the which notify the view when the property change. Yeah, when the properties change. But it is quite straightforward. I obtained this code from the documentation, as I said. I can show you another API, but sorry, before that, if you remember, I told you that some APIs require you to write a specific, to ask for permissions in the Android manifest. So we actually have to include these battery stats for this API. Or if you don't want to write the code in the Android manifest, well, you can just select it from here. Yeah, you can see that it is checked on. Which other functionality would you like to see? Well, I can show you, let's say, the map one, because it actually uses two APIs. So for map, I also write my own model, which contains two properties, latitude and longitude, quite easy. Then we have the map view model. In the map view model, we have the map and show map command. This is used in the view. We have latitude, we have longitude. This is just because of the view model for notifying changes. And in the constructor, we have the command, which opens the map or launches the map application, which is installed on the device, and it accepts a parameter, a location object. You can see that we are actually sending the latitude and longitude values, which we include in these text boxes. All right. At the beginning, we set the latitude and longitude to the current location by using this geolocation functionality included in Xamarin.Essentials. Oh, and by the way, as I told you, the main advantage here is that we don't have to add the geolocation plugin, the battery plugin, the SMS plugin. If you have worked with Xamarin, you know what I'm talking. What am I talking about? I am just including this one, Xamarin.Essentials package. That's all I need. All right. And well, the rest is quite easy. We just set the initial values to the current location. And of course, in the map view, yeah, there you go. An entry for latitude, we are binding it to the property. Same goes to longitude. Yep. And the show map command when we click on the button. So yeah, all of these APIs are very easy to implement. I would like to ask in the chat if you would like to see another one, if you want me to explain another one, or if we continue with the presentation. What do you think? We still have some minutes, some time left. And you can also take a look at the code. As I told you, there is this repository. It is shared there. And feel free to add more functions, to use it for your own project. If you have any question, you can raise an issue or just send me an email. In the meantime, while you tell me what to do, if we continue with the presentation or if I explain another one, I told you that I am using Shell. Shell is one of the most beautiful things that I have seen in Xamarin in the latest update, Xamarin version 4.0. This is shell, app shell, yeah. This shell is this menu that you just saw on the left, but these are also included as tab in the tab bar. You can see messages, battery map, but they are also here. Oh, sorry, maybe you don't see it, but yeah, they are here. Okay, yeah, I know about sorry about that. Yeah, here, messages, battery map, or we can select it from here. Yep. And, well, very easy. It's like a master detail. Maybe you have worked with them. With shell, you just add this flyout item, which is like the main one here, essentials, and with a background image. And then the items. For instance, these messages has two tabs, SMS or email. They are two items here, shell content. And you just include the views for navigation. SMS view is this one. Yep. Or email view is other one. We have shell content, battery view, another shell content for map view, and same goes for the rest of the items in the menu. Okay, and the view that is included. You can actually include a content page code right there, but I think it's better to isolate or to use separate files for the views. And that's all I need. I don't have to write C# code like navigation, push async, or something like that. Shell handles all these for you. So if you are a Xamarin developer, I highly recommend you, I encourage you to use Shell in your applications. Okay, so questions. Will the Xamarin Dev Group create an Essentials-like library to speed up the design, UI design of common controls like list view, menus, walkthrough, etc.? Okay, that's a very good question. Well, they are actually working with this, handling the user interface and also the performance. For list views, or particularly for list views, we have collection view, which I will write in the chat. Collection view is improvement of the list view functionality. You can show a collection, of course, of items in several layouts, horizontal, vertical. You can combine with grids. I use it for a challenge for application. And for instance, in my case, it loaded like, I think it was almost 800 items quite quickly because it was a Pokédex or Pokemon application. It included an image and some data from a JSON file. So yes, they are working to improve performance of some controls of some views. As I said, this view. Brian mentioned a very good one, visual material, for the user interface to improve, again, this design. Actually, for menus, you just saw the shell. I just talk about it. Give me a second. Quite easy to implement this. Before that, well, you have to write master detail and use C# code. And now with just XAML, it's very easy. Also in Shell, you can send parameters. Well, I did not implement it in the example, but yes, you can do that. And maybe for walkthrough, I have done that. You use I forgot what you use for walkthrough, but well, you can also search for, I think it's the second beautiful Xamarin UI, I think, and then you will get the Javier Suarez Ruiz repository, and there should be one application or one sample there about walkthrough. I'm pretty sure I have seen it. I don't remember which one is. I think it was a Microsoft sample one because I used it. I know it's about bikes, but I forgot the name of it. Yeah, this one. Yes, bike sharing. As you can see in the first screen or in the first image, this is a walkthrough page or activity. You click this button and then you go to the next item of this walkthrough. So in this case, there is none of the package. It is actually code that you have to write. All right, but there are samples about it. Okay, excellent. Do you have any other questions? What do you think? Have you used Xamarin.Essentials in your applications? Was this new for you? Let me know your thoughts about it. And of course, yeah, feel free to ask any other question. Okay. If there are no questions, let me continue. So, well, there were some questions during the presentation. I would like to thank to the attendees of this presentation, especially to our members from Comunidad Xamarin en Español. If you speak Spanish or also Portuguese, you can join our group. It's a quite big community. We are almost 9,000 developers from Latin America, but also from some countries such as Spain, of course, that's kind of obvious. But also there are some members from Africa where they talk Portuguese, I think Mozambique, Angola, and I don't remember which other ones, but well, and yeah, also from Czech Republic because I live there. But yeah, we are quite nice community. There are questions, there are newcomers about Xamarin, and we are always glad to help. There are some MVPs there, but let's say also members from our community answers the questions. They are very supportive, actually. And that's something that I really like about our group, our members, that they are quite helpful. We know that we all started with this technology. We were beginners about Xamarin a few years ago. And after studying some courses from Xamarin University or from some Xamarin initiative, such as the Xamarin Diplomado in Latin America 2-3 years ago, we learned about this technology. And there are always new students, new people coming, and we try to help the most. There are also some job offers posted there and some freelance requirements or projects. So feel free to join. The group is public, so even if you are not a member, you can read all the conversation that is created there. So, but if you join, we would be very happy and glad to have you. So, yeah, thank you very much for the people who come from this group. I am very happy about about how the community has developed 3 years ago. Yeah, you're right. Thank you from, okay, greetings to Panama. And well, to finish with this presentation, these are my social networks and some other information for me. My repositories from GitHub, icebeam7. These slides are in slicer.net/sbeam. I have a YouTube channel where I post or upload some videos about Xamarin, about Azure, about some other technologies. I have LinkedIn. You can write an email. And well, thank you very much for joining this presentation. And also thank you to the Microsoft Student Partners community, which is quite active. Thank you, Orlando, and all the good guys behind this initiative. And have a good one. Thank you very much. If there are any other questions, I will still check the chat. But thank you so much for this.